Actually, I grew this. I'll tell you exactly how it happened. I was showed up in spring training. This was 1981, I believe it was, and the spring of 1981, I'd grown a full beard. And uh, when I came to camp in the off season, I grew the beard. And when I came to camp, I thought I'm not going to shave this till I get to camp. And Yogi, who was in charge of hair, uh, said when I walked in the clubhouse with my gear bag and just went over to my locker and threw all my stuff, all my equipment in my locker, I turned around and there's Yogi. He says, "What's that crap?" And I said, "What do you mean, what's that crap?" He says, "Your crap on your face." He goes, "You got to shave it off. George is going to go crazy." And I said, "Don't worry, Yog, I'm going to shave it off, you know." I said, "Don't worry about it." I said, "I'm going to shave it off." He goes, "Get in that bathroom and shave that damn stuff off," he goes. So I went in the bathroom and shaved it off and came out, and I had this full-blown Fu Manchu, just real bushy, and I'd kept it, and just to bust Yogi's chops, you know. And he comes running back over to my locker, and he says, "Oh, no," he says, "that thing's got to be cut right here, and you got to trim it up." He says, too bushy." So it's got to, George Steinbrenner doesn't allow mustaches to come down below the corner of your mouth. And to this day, no one else has ever had one. And I picked 81 I looked at in the mirror, and I thought, hey, I kind of like that Fu Manchu, you know. But everybody thinks I grew it to be more intimidating. Actually, I grew it because, to piss Steinbrenner off. So.
Top the one off Goose Gossage, courtesy of George Brett, as the Yankees took on the Royals during a steamy late July matchup. With the ever-crafty Yankee manager Billy Martin looking on and the Royals down by a run, Brett blasted one into the right field seats, giving Kansas City a 5-4 ninth-inning lead. But Brett had no sooner reached home plate when Martin protested the amount of pine tar on Brett's bat. After all due deliberation, the umpires upheld Martin's complaint, nullifying Brett's home run and sending the Royals' third baseman into a rage. In the ensuing days, after protests and litigation, League President Lee MacPhail overruled the umpires, and the pine tar incident later resulted in a 5-4 Kansas City win.
Well, it happened in Kansas City. Everybody thinks it was Billy Martin that spotted the pine tar. Well, it wasn't Billy. It was Greg Nettles. Munson had been called out on it 2 or 3 years before that, and so he knew about the rule. And when Brett came up in Kansas City with the game on the line, there was a runner at second base, and I remember Greg calling timeout and coming over, and he said, "Hey," he said, "if he gets a hit here, we're going to get his bat because he's using an illegal bat." I went, "Okay, great." So I got him out, no harm, no foul. We didn't say anything. So we leave Kansas City. They come into our place at the stadium, and here's Brett again, and I should have been in the game probably 2 or 3 hitters before that. Well, Billy was notorious for not being able to handle pitching and didn't know pitching from, he knew it was hard to hit. That was about it. And I'm standing on the mound, and UL Washington beats out a chopper over my head, and he beats out a chopper over my head. Now I got to face Brett, and Brett's the last guy in that situation anybody wants to face, So I thought, there's no way that Brett is going to beat me. Well, when he came up, Nettles comes over again. He goes, "Hey, remember," he says, "if he gets a hit here, we're getting his bat, man. He's using an illegal bat." I said, "Okay." So the first pitch, I'm thinking, I'm going to walk him. I'm not going to let him beat me. And so the first pitch was a high and away fastball, and high and away, way out of the strike zone, and he reaches out and he hits this ball down the left field line. It's got home run distance, and I'm thinking, it's gone. Well, it slices foul, just misses the foul pole. God, I said, I can't believe it. Well, this next pitch, I'm thinking, I'm coming in this time, and I don't care if this ball hits him in the neck. I'm coming in. So I throw it in, and he Tommy Hawks this ball. He was a great hitter, and hit this ball It's right here. If I said I wanted that ball to hit your neck, he said if I hadn't hit that ball, it would have been in my neck. And he just hit it way out front like this, and then hits it into the seats for the home run, and then the rest is history. And it's the maddest human being I've ever seen in my lifetime. And if he'd had a gun, I think we'd all been dead. But it was. People ask me who the greatest hitter ever was. I think George Brett in his prime, in my prime, and during my era, he was the best hitter. I faced a lot of the great hitters on their way out toward the backsides of their careers: Al Kaline, Tony Oliva, Hank Aaron, Killebrew, these kinds of hitters. I faced those guys, but Brett in his prime was the best hitter I ever faced. And then this pine tar thing was, he hit another shot, heard around our world off me. It was the 80 playoff game into the upper deck at Yankee Stadium. And that ball, when he hit that pitch, it was the loudest sound I've ever heard a bat and ball making contact. It just kind of shocked me, and I was like, really, it was like a M80 going off. It was like unbelievable, and I flinched at it. That's how loud it was, and he was just a great hitter. He did whatever he needed to do. He was a great spray hitter, great alleys guy, left center, right center. And then if you needed the long ball, he could hit the long ball with the best of them.
Can I do just a follow on the pine tar? When all of this is happening and Billy Martin's out there and you see the movies and they're showing the actual gradation of it, what are you doing on the mound?
Sure, we're laughing. We're having a good time with this. It's like I can't. We're laughing. Well, Greg has been calling this ever since we've been facing him in those tough situations, and we've been waiting for something like this to happen, and now it's happening. And then when McClellan, calls him out, we were just elated. We were tickled. Well, the ending of that thing was that the league overruled the umpires. The umpires were just doing their job. They read the rule book correctly, and Munson had been called out on it. And Lee McPhail, we weren't going to get any favors passed our way by McPhail and the league, because Steinbrenner and Billy were all over the league all the time about different issues, and so we weren't going to catch a break. And but we didn't think they could overrule it either. It was in the rule book. Well. McPhail overruled the rule book and said that the pine tar had nothing to do with propelling the ball into the seats, and therefore, the home run is going to stand. And I ended up getting a loss, but we had a lot of fun with that thing. Also, it was a crazy day, to say the least.
Finlay. Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get it. It's a home run.
In 1978. Steinbrenner's Yankees came from 14 games behind and then beat the Red Sox in a dramatic and, for Boston fans, excruciating one-game playoff to win the division title. It was the greatest comeback in American League history.
And a happy Bucky Dead.
New York then took the World Series from the Dodgers.
Walk us through that game itself, because you really worked yourself up to that. You knew you were going to be part of that game, coming to the stadium that night.
Yeah, I not even that day. It was a day game, Monday day game. The regular season had ended on the Sunday. Sure. Red Sox won. We lost to Cleveland, and forced that one-game playoff. And we flew into Boston. And man, if there's one place you don't want to play one game, is in Fenway Park, because no lead there is a safe lead with that green monster. And I went to bed thinking the night before that, I'm gonna be facing Yaz for the final out tomorrow. I just had envisioned it. I don't know why, because he's probably the guy you'd least want to face in that situation because of who he is.
Bottom of the ninth, Yastrzemski at bat. Boston down by a run, 2 men on, 2 out. The tumultuous 78 Yankees had made the greatest comeback in baseball history and would go on from Boston to win another World Series.